Good morning again, Bob Gustin here. This morning we're going to talk about the square. Now, in your toolkits you'll have a square. This is your combination square. This is not a combination set. A combination set would have 4 pieces in it. This is a combination square, it has 2. The first is your blade. And again, if you notice here, you have a 16 and a 32, or a 16 and an 8, I'm sorry. I'm looking the wrong side. That's your graduations. That's how accurate you can measure. You know, on a 1/16 of an inch, as close as you're going to get is a 1/16 of an inch. If we flip it over, we'll notice we got a 1/16 and a 32nd. This is a standard 12-inch blade. They do get longer. You can get a 6-inch blade. It's kind of an oddball, but you can get them. And these blades will go out to 48 inches. They're a little problematic and they're very expensive. A 12-inch, I've got a lot of 12-inch steel squares, and I've got one 24-inch blade. I've done that for 30 years. So you don't need to run out and buy a 24-inch blade. Now, then you have the square head. This is a square head. You have a miter. This is your 45 degree. Your square head, which is formed here and down here. You have a bubble level in here. It's a really nice little option to have. And then you have this little item on the end. This is a scribe. This would be used for marking on metal. Now, most places you go, got old squares that are all beat up. This will be missing. But this little thing they stuck in the back of your square, do not throw it away. Do not lose it. It's not a mistake. It's there for you to use when you're doing layout. Now, a square can be used to measure, layout, check for square. Now, when we use the term check for square, I'm going to use a term called comparative measuring. What does that mean? That means that I'm going to compare this piece to this. I'm going to assume that this is square. And again, be very careful with assumptions. Assumptions can bite you in the rear. Now, wood table, so we're going to kind of, how close can it be? If we were going to do this in a very accurate manner, we would do this on a granite surface plate. But I can check and I can compare this square to this. Now, comparative means it's not going to tell me how much it is out. Now, I can see some light shining through here in a gap, not square. For intents and purposes, we could take feeler gauges and we could go up through here. But this just tells me I'm not square. It doesn't tell me how much to fix it. It just tells me that I'm not square. Now, to use this for layout or a 45, if I wanted to cut a 45 on this, I can take this and now I've got this set at a 45. This is a miter. I can lay out a line at a 45 degree. If I wanted to do a simple layout, I can set this, and in this case I'm going to set this on the 1-inch mark. Now I have to look at it from this side. It's what we call splitting the line. When you're using a square, if you're using a steel rule tape measure, you want to split the line. What am I meaning? I mean at this 1-inch mark, half of that 1-inch mark is inside here. Half of that's out. If I split that line, I've got to be as close to 1 inch as I can get. Now again, I'm not going to delude myself and say I'm within 1/1000th of an inch of being on true 1 inch. I have no idea. I know that I'm within that margin. If I'm doing this kind of layout, first of all, I'm not looking for 1/1000th of an inch tolerance. I then can take my little scribe. I can set this on this edge. I can mark a line like that. I'll turn this thing around. I'm going to be on the center of that hole. I can draw a line like this, keeping this up against there, and that's how we could do a simple layout. You can set this anywhere out throughout. You can only go down to about 11 inches, because once you get out here, you can't do 12 inches, lay out 12 inches, because you'd use the whole blade up. These are very, extremely handy and useful tools. Again, mechanics, welders, machinists, and especially I know I'm going to pick on the industrial mechanics, the welders, and the machinists. We all use these. This is as valuable a tool. You can use this tool around the house. This is a great tool to have. I mean, this is a fundamental tool for any. If I was to get a machinist, any machinist that I know, one of the drawers, they're going to have one of these in here because it is bread and butter tool to us. Anyway, this concludes this video on this, and please get your squares out and use them. They're not there to look at, they're there to use.